Good day, guys, and welcome back to Fab Studios' uh, second part of this tutorial. I apologize for the delay, but um, these things happen. All right, yesterday, just to recap quickly, yesterday we completed the skin tones of Bambi, and today we're going to go and do the background of the grass here in the back, and we're going to do a dress and also the clouds in the back, and her hair, and basically finish the picture. Now, what you're going to need to do is, you can see once the picture has dried, it looks totally different. And I apologize, my camera quality was horrendous yesterday. I didn't see that. I didn't pick up on it until it was too late. So I've changed cameras. I hope this is a better view, and I hope you guys can see. Right, let's just get our pencils out so that we can continue painting. Right, you've got an option. You can use your different different things for this. You can use your um, markers. I've got my Tombow markers here, which I'm going to use that I can use. I can use my aquarelle pencils, or you can use your Zig markers. I can show you how you can use these in a very interesting way that you don't have to waste so much ink by applying them directly to your paper. I think a lot of ink gets wasted, and it certainly will help you um, go a lot further with your coloring tools. Will go a lot further if you use it sparingly or wisely. Okay, Zip markers are the best, in my opinion. They are the best. Zip Clean Color Real Brush, they're from Japan. They're really an amazing tool to or item to have in your studio collection, and very pigmented, highly pigmented. Um, I find them absolutely the best. I've tried other ones, the Chrome Tech ones. They're not that great. Color fades away quite easily. They've got brighter colors, but they do fade out quite quickly. And then there's other brands called the Teaser Real Brush Pens. I haven't tried them yet, so I cannot give you an opinion about them, but we're not here for opinions. We're here to color the picture. The Tombow markers are quite nice. I can also show you how to apply them in your day-to-day, but I've spoken to some of you, and some of you have not got the high, um, I should have made it clearer. You should have about 200 to 250 GSM thick paper to be able to do the watercoloring tutorial, because you're working with water, and you need a paper that's a bit thick enough to be able to handle the paper. Otherwise, your paper is going to buckle completely, and it's really not going to look nice unless you are very, very careful. I also realized that if you use one of the Eco Tank printers, it doesn't matter if it's Brother or Epson or one of those, ink smudge. So if you've got a laser printer, it's best to print it with a laser printer. Um, yeah, okay, let's get down. Or you can use your normal aquarelle pencils like we did with the rest of the body, or skin tones yesterday. You just normally apply your color. What I would just do is I would just here the darker ends, at the ends, I would just go with my pencil like this, just highlighting those lines. With the green, Now, you guys are such an accomplished artist, so I'm not going to tell you exactly what green I used here, or what I can tell you, I'm using a light olive green 40%. But you can use whatever green you like or that you feel comfortable with. Just be careful when you get here. There's a bit of her um, sleeve that one still needs to color through there. And this looks like bushes, so don't really have to highlight them, but or they could be rolling hills. Sometimes it's difficult if you don't know, haven't got the artist in front of you. And these are dark bushes, so you can just like trees in the background. You can just go with your pencil and just wherever there's a dark mark, just highlight it with the pencil. Like over here, and over here. It looks like some shrubs or country shrubs. It looks like it's highlighted. Okay. Now, one thing you need to remember is that because we're going to use the white paint afterwards, you don't have to really worry about the flowers now. Just don't go too dark over them. I will show you what I mean. Okay. Now, we've got two choices. I'm going to use both so I can show you guys. You take a little normal ceramic plate because it's watercolor based um, ink. You don't have to be worried about it staining your plate or whatever. It's perfectly safe. It washes off and it's fine. If you have an old plate, use an old plate and then just apply your color there, like a few strokes, and you can put your brush away and you can then start with the paint. I like to use like a quite a nice, you can use one of these aqua brushes that one gets, or you can use, yeah, one of your normal ordinary brushes, sorry, or one of your ordinary brushes that you can get, that you can apply the ink onto the paper. Now, what I like to do is I like to just make sure you've got a nice clean brush. And I just like to wet my page a little bit first. It just helps spreading the ink over the page. So you can go over the flowers for now. Don't worry, but don't stress about them. Like I said, you've got that titanium paint, or if you've got a acrylic paint marker, they're also great for to highlight those flowers later on. Over here, like there. Just be careful for a trace. Then you can come in with your color. I've used a light green for the bottom part, and the highlighted parts I'll use the same kind of green. Now, guys, I'm not a professional at all, so I'm just showing you the way I color my pictures. Oh, wait. First with water, although there's still some green on mine. It's fine, we're still going to go over it. Like one of these brushes, they're the best um, as far as I know. They've got a bit of an edge. I don't know if you can see. They've got a bit of an edge to them. So they're quite nice to um, get into these tight corners and apply your ink. Make sure you don't have too much water in the brush. You don't want to get your page too wet. You just want to get enough to lift the plate, to lift the ink from the page onto the ink, lift the ink from the plate onto the page. And once we've done with that, and of course when it's dried, it's going to look completely different. Not completely different, but it's going to look different. Um, but we have highlighted with the darker color, or you will see that it works in quite nicely now. They blend in quite nicely without any hiccups or problems. Just right into the bottom. Looks like I'm going to need a little bit more ink. I still put enough on my plate. Sorry about that. Okay, let's just give it 2 minutes to dry, and then we'll come back to it. Welcome back, guys. Okay, we've given it a few minutes now to dry, so we can go on with our design and or with our picture and see to it. Okay, now for the sky or for the background, the clouds, I'm going to use my Tombow markers so that I can show you guys how to use or different ways to use your Tombow markers. Or if you've got the Lyra, they're almost the same. They've got a brush at the end, and then they've got a um, like a normal end at the other side for more detailed work. You can apply the color directly to your page, but I find you've got more control over the ink if you actually apply it to your page the same way that you apply have applied the ink onto your plate the way that you can just get these off. And always make sure that you've got enough kitchen towel or hand towel um, ready for in case you need it, in case you've spilled some paint or. Now I want to use a bit of a darker color, um, so I'm going to mix two colors. Colors that I've used here to mix. So, but hula hard, tomboy, for having your colors on here. They're actually quite fabulous, made in Vietnam. But I must be honest, I prefer um, the Lyra range of brush pens. They work just as well in there, are beautiful in half the price. Okay, what I'm going to use this time is I'm going to use one of my aqua brushes to actually go in and do that top part. You want to choose one that has got quite a broad brush like this. Just make sure that the end is nice and wet. If it's not a new one, make sure that it's clean. So when you just check that there's no ink coming off, then you just take from your darkest ink, so the darker blue, you'll start at the top and go all the way from the top, from one side to the other side. Just work your way down. Not putting too much pressure on your, don't squeeze too hard on your aqua brush. You don't want too much water coming out of it. You just want your brush nice and wet. And careful around the leaves. Okay, take your time, guys. Rather take your time instead of me rushing like this, trying to get everything in there to get the video as short as possible. Now, if you want to make your sky a different color, you will see on the page there's a cloud there, white cloud. Try to keep that white, but I'll show you now what we're going to do. You can go in with your darker color a bit more while your page is still wet. Remember, it will bleed. Try not to get your page too wet. Then I'm going to take one of my lighter colors, it's like light purple almost. And I just want to, just to create a bit of a, you will see around that cloud, you just want to highlight that purplish color with that cloud. Gonna go in with my other aqua brush now and do these little fine corners. But you just want to work that purpley color into the bottom here. If you go over that cloud area, don't worry, it's fine. We can create our own clouds. Making sure that it's nice and smooth so you don't have like ink blotches everywhere. To create a smooth effect. Over the top there. But as you can see, it gives you that nice two-tone color. More of the light pink in here. And then what you can do is you can use the lighter purple as well. You'll see over the edge here. You can mix the two colors all together. You can use your artistic interpretation of how you want it to be. I must say the artwork has been displaying in Fab Studio homepage, uh, not homepage, Facebook page. I'm so impressed by it. You guys are so good. Really, I'm finding it very difficult um, to find the words to express myself every time. Um, really, it's been absolutely stunning. Thank you for making that really such a nice, pleasant journey. And we are such a great group of people there. Um, and it's not the numbers that counts; it's the quality. It's the quality of people that counts. Support. We're still going to go with other colors in here, darker shades or different shades. We want to create a bit of a stormy sky at the back, or a mysterious side in the back. If you go over the hair, it's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to take normal pencil. What I mean by normal pencil, not an aqua based pencil, and we're going to do a hair with that because it's just easier than having to go into. This helps helps it not to smudge. Mixed media, or I know we said this is a watercoloring tutorial, but yes, because we're using most of it is water based. Most of it is water based, but there are some areas that you can use your ordinary pencils. As long as you use your aquarelle pencils first, and then get the normal color, get the color down, and then you can come in with your ordinary pencils over the aquarelles or over the water based, and then you can start putting in details and work over it. But you need to put on the water based first. Okay, there you go. Oops. Let's just give that a minute or two to dry and then we'll go on. Okay, see you guys now. Hi guys, just to come back and um, our painting or drawing is dried a little bit. We don't want to put the paper too wet. Um, you don't want to dry it with a normal kitchen towel or anything handy. So it's best to just dry naturally. Now, just a little quick trick that I want to show you guys what you can do as well if you want to do your night sky. You can do it with ordinary pencil as well, like not ordinary pencils, also with your aquarelle pencils. You can go in with normal and put in some highlights, not highlights, but here finer details here around her dress and things like that, where you just scared you might go in with the brush too much. Just finish it off nicely. Just add in some color there. The color that I'm using here is a light cobalt blue from the Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarelle range. Um, like here around the hairline, here her dress, here her body. You want to take it to around about just below her ear. As you can see where the earring starts over there. Just want to take it around about there because what we're going to do is we're going to create a more white foundation there with our titanium paint. But we've got other things to see to before we're going to go in and do that because that's the last thing we see to. Creating a mysterious skyline is always, you can mix in some colors together. Like I'm using my light um, malachite green. Excuse my pronunciation of it. Um, and I've got a very nice other blue that I can use as well. So you can use one of your, um, use one of the Chrome Tech brushes, aqua brushes. Here's another one. You can just go in there and just add a little bit of color. Just to finish it off nicely. And bring in some color at the top. This is one of the Chrome Tech um, brushes. They're very similar to the Lyra brush, to the Zinc markers. And this is Huron Blue. Heron Blue. Huron Blue. And then we can just come in with our normal aqua brush. What have I done with that little one? Oh, here it's in front of me. Same one that I used for watercoloring, or to apply the green in. Over those areas that you've just been coloring with these areas where the hair's been, just try to stay away from them. So we do our base now, background now. So if we do go in with our real pencils later on to do her hair, you'll see that she's It's easier just to do the hair. Just bringing those colors, blending them in nicely together. Creating the same kind of effect as above there. We have added a little bit of color just on top, just working in nicely into your picture. We'll do some more blending work later. Okay. What we want to do now is we want to get down to a dress and see to a dress. Now I'm going to use a few different colors into a dress. Now I'm going to use my pencils because I believe my pencils give me the best control over the colors that I'm going to put down. So what I'm going to do is I've got 4 different colors or 5 different colors here. I've got I'm using my aquarelle pencils again. I'm going to use the crimson aubergine. It's like a dark aubergine color. Um, I'm going to use my saffron. I'm also going to use my golden yellow, scarlet, and also apricot in there. But you can see we got very little of each color will go a far way. So what we do is we use our aubergine color first, and we do go wherever there's a dark color, dark line onto the dress. Just basically just go over that with your pencil and just highlight them. You don't have to be precise. Just draw with these. It's line D, line D, line D. Just one line. That's all you need. Just a line D. It's quite a big line D. Just draw it like that, like that. And go in and do it like that. Okay. Now over here, on the side of a dress, I don't know what you would call this, like a corset area. You just want to bring to the edge of the dress. You just want to kind of highlight it, or just blend the color in there, going down the side of each side. And then also here with this like a darkish lines over here, shadow lines or pleats or whatever you want to call them, on the seam as well, going in. And yeah, that's what I was talking about. Just one line, just draw one line where those lines have been. Okay, just like that. We will do the rest now. And then you go in with your next color you will use is your saffron. Just be careful, guys. They are so highly pigmented, these pencils. So on right next to the to the aubergine, you just going to draw one line down, one line down, one line there, one line there, one line there. Next to it, 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 next to it. don't fly. And then just next to it, next to it. And you can also at the same time do her buttons. Just highlight the buttons there. If you want to choose to make them this golden color in there, over here. And at the edge here, you will see that her little ridge there. And here, you want to highlight that with the saffron color as well. And over here, this little mark here, and the button over there. And then what you can do is you can just don't have to color the whole image or the whole area there, just a few lines down. That's all you need down there. And then you can also just here at the end of her corset, here in the middle, over here, you can just few lines draw down, and on this side as well, a few lines going down. Not as much as on this side as on this, not as much this side as on this side. So you just want to create like a line that you basically draw down there. And then also here next to this lines, you can just bring in one line, one line, one line, one line. In this frilly area here, at the top bottom, like at the waist, you want to do that as well with the saffron and going down just the edge of that, by the edge, just the literally the edge of this frill that goes down her dress. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take the apricot color and we're just going to put in some color afterwards. And I'm just going to draw a few lines in. Don't have to be accurate. A few lines in, a few lines in. You can just draw down the page, just like I'm doing at the moment. You don't have to color it precise. Because what we're going to do is we're going to use our aqua brush and blend all these colors together. And wherever we've drawn a line, you'll see that's where the colors will accentuate most. I'm just drawing a few lines here and a few lines there. Just top there. We're going to do the sleeves now, but last. Okay, and then I'm going to take my red and I'm going to do a few lines down right next to the aubergine color. Do a few lines there. Not too much, guys, because there's already so much ink on here. And over here, you can, next to the corset on this side, you just bring it all together. Again, of course, if you want to use this dry and not as a like we're going to do by going over it with an aqua brush, then you don't have, then you obviously would color it perfectly and blend and do it there. But we're going to use one of our aqua brushes. I'm also going to use one of my um, one of these fine, this same one. What you want to do is you want to then with your brush, and as you can see, as soon as your brush hits the page, you can sit with all these different lines that just pops up on your dress. And it creates this chiffon kind of look where chiffon, it depends on what kind of light sunlight or the light hits it. It's got this different tones to it. And this is the kind of look that we're going for. You can always collect more water. Don't use too much water. You don't want too much water there. This watercoloring experts will teach will go, ah, what's he doing? Um, I've got to say one thing to you. It's my page, and I color the way I want to. And I'm not selling this professionally, so you must do what you're comfortable with. If it works for you, it works for you. But as you can see, it creates this beautiful effect. If you want to use add more color afterwards, you can add more color afterwards, but or accentuate a different color. You know, but want to bring out the orange a bit more, if you want to bring out the yellow a bit more, just then you can always go back and add a little bit more, and I will show you now how to do that. Okay, as you can see, I've applied a lot more ink there, so you must just be careful. But we'll just highlight, we'll just bring out those areas that you just want to have a darker color shading into your lighter color. Bring it like that, and bring it in like that. To have that real fringe down her middle of the dress, you can just leave that. For now, we were going to come back and see to it after we've done the sleeves. Okay. Over here. I'm working so quickly, guys. I'm trying to work as quickly as I can. Now, just quickly, if you need to add more color, the little trick that I've learned from a lady years ago, and she used to do the most fabulous coloring tutorials, you can actually take your aqua brush and make sure it's got a nice sharp end or it's enough length, and you can actually take your aqua brush and you can just wet the tip. Now, it's not going to compromise the pencils, it's not going to compromise the lead. It's just you're not going to dunk it into water and leave it there. Of course not. You're just wetting the tip of it. You can just then take the color off the aqua brush and just work that color in. And then use enough water for a brush, it's not wet enough. Just, yeah, and make sure you get enough ink onto your brush and then bring in the color. You see, and there you go. You can bring in a bit more yellow in there, and you've got control over how much color you bring in. Um, just make sure you get more red here. Careful. And just move everything nicely. Okay. going to bring in a bit more darker lines over here. What I like to do is I like to use an aubergine for that. Now, while this is still wet, kind of wet, what you want to do is you want to bring in that one color. I think I made mention of it yesterday, but I never made mention of it today. You're going to bring in a color that you will never imagine you would normally bring in. And that's to create that chiffon, different looks, um, different shades of color hitting the sun in different, at different angles. What you want to do is you want to make sure your aqua brush is nice and clean, so there's no more red ink or other color ink on it. And then what you want to do is you want to take a blue, the same blue that I've used for the sky. Then you want to use that blue, and you just want to take it down and then bring it just like a hint, a tint of it into a dress. As you can see, it's just a smidgen of blue into a dress. It's hardly visible. It's visible, but you'll see once it's dry how it will look like. You can bring in another color if you want to bring in a little bit of purple. You can bring in a little bit of purple. I like the blue. It just brings out the dress a bit more. Okay, bring in a little bit of blue on the bottom of the dress. You don't want it to be too much, otherwise it's going to start looking muddy and you're going to mix your colors together and it's just not going to be nice. What you're also going to do is you can then highlight, make sure your aqua brush is clean and got no more ink on it. And then you can do these lines on the side, just a little bit of blue, not a train smash. Aqua brush is not clean enough, but it's fine. I'm just going to color that there. And then you have the dress there. Just leave it for now until it's dry, and then what we'll do is we'll take it further. Okay, guys, I'm going to call this the end of the video. What we will do is when we come back, we're going to do the little leaves in her hair, and we're also going to do her hair, and also her eyes, and the sleeves, and the rest of that needs to be done. So we will finish her off in the next video. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'll see you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.